Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is my review for Girl Meets World, Season 1, Episode 7, Girl Meets Maya's Mother. And this episode, for me, the thing I really like about this episode was the darker tone of this episode, definitely. This episode was significantly darker than the past few episodes. I mean, this episode, especially the situation that Maya's mother was going through, was quite dark for Disney, definitely. Quite dark for them. Not really something I thought Disney would ever really, show. And I like that Disney did that. I really like that Girl Meets World really is okay with handling dark subjects like this. That really was great, and for the most part, this episode was pretty much as dark as Girl Meets Father. Yes, it had a little bit more funnier parts in the first half of the episode, but for the most part, though, it was sort of like more of a dramatic episode about Maya, and what I really like is that the Maya episodes are really the darker ones, and it really reminds me of Boy Meets World, because if you guys remember, the Sean episodes in Boy Meets World were significantly darker than the other ones, and I really like that about the show, definitely. But this episode was just really well done. Probably best episode of the season. Love the subplot as well. Subplot was very funny, which we'll get to. But this episode is basically about talent. And, basically the talent, especially of Maya. Riley and Maya, they're in art class. And we know that Maya, of course, has a talent of art. In that one episode, episode 2... I didn't think this would, go anywhere, really. I didn't really know where they were going with this. I just thought this was going to be, a one-time thing. And then, Maya would, I don't know. I think I know what they're trying to set up here. Basically, Maya, we know that she has a real talent for art. She drew that really nice picture and gave it to Farkle. And Riley, sees that she has a very good talent for art. And she doesn't really know why Maya just doesn't want to show her art. She doesn't know why she doesn't want to show it. And, Maya says, she doesn't really care that she doesn't show it, and it doesn't seem like Maya really cares. But, of course, Maya, I'm sure, does care. She just doesn't really want to show it for whatever reason. And, basically, what ends up happening is, it is basically career day, and her mom shows up. Her mom does not show up. Her mom does not show up, and it's really, sad that she shows up. And the other thing is that there's, their art teacher is very impressed by Maya's work, and Riley doesn't understand why Maya doesn't want to possibly go into a more advanced art class or an art show, because there is an art show going on, and she really wants Maya to participate in it, because I'm thinking Riley just really wants Maya. Honestly, I think what they're doing with Maya is they're going to have her become an artist. I think definitely, as the show goes on, Maya's going to become more into that sort of, art sort of thing. She's going to become an artist and things like that. I think that'd be cool to see. I would like to see that, definitely. I would definitely like to see that. I think that'd be fun, to watch, definitely. But basically, her mom does not show up. Her mom does not show up on career day, and of course, obviously, Maya's upset. Her mom shows up the next day, and it's not career day, and this is where the episode got really dark, because her mother is basically, we find out, unstable. She really is. She's very unstable. She kind of imagines that she has this job as an actress, and that she always imagines that she has these auditions to go to when she's an actress. She imagines that she has a fake husband. She acts like she has these things. And honestly, that's very dark territory for Disney. Disney really hasn't done a sort of storyline where someone kind of, they're subconscious, they think one thing and they're sort of, unstable, and I really like that about the storyline. I like that Disney really wanted to handle that, definitely. Now, before Maya and Riley, I really like this conversation that Maya and Riley had. Riley said to Maya, "Why are you not wanting to show your art?" And Maya says to her, "You can't fix everything. There are some things that are just not, that you just can't fix, and you can't change anything about them. And that's just the reality of it, is that you're not going to be able to change that." And I really like that, because it's true. Riley does try to fix everything. I don't want to call her prissy, because Riley's not prissy. We've seen that before. Riley is in no way a perfectionist. She has her own problems. When it comes to Maya, though, she wants to do whatever she can to help her, definitely, when it comes to Maya. And Maya's kind of sick of it. She's telling her, please, don't try to fix this. Just, there's nothing you can do about this. And Maya, of course, I get why Maya's saying this, because Maya's lived with this probably her whole life. She's used to her mom acting like she's going to these auditions. She's used to her mom, not showing up at things, and she's used to that. So she's telling, Riley not to change it. But of course, Riley really cares about Maya, so she does try to change it. She goes up to Maya's mom and basically says to her, "Why don't you try to reconnect with, your daughter and show up at the art show, because there's an art show and Maya's going to be participating in it." And yeah, she really wants her to show up there. And Maya's mother's like, you really can't change this. There are just some things you're not going to be able to change. And I really like the performance by Maya's mother in this episode. Really, really good performance. I mean, really, really great. I thought she did a great job, in my opinion. Especially for Disney. Typically, adults on Disney Channel are not really the highlight of the episode. And in my opinion, on tonight's episode, Maya's mother was the best actress in the episode. I mean, really, she was absolutely fantastic. I thought she was great. And, basically what ends up happening is Riley and Maya, they're then back in art class, and, you know, Riley kind of feels upset because she really wanted to change things. She feels she has, and she ends up telling Maya that she entered her in an art show, and Maya's really upset. They get into, like, a little paint fight, which I thought was kind of funny. I definitely thought that was funny, the way they did that. Little immature for Disney Channel, but you know what? It was funny. I thought they did a good job with that. I mean, they're two 7th grade girls. That's sort of the thing they would do, and, I mean, that was definitely funny. Especially girls. Girls would do that, definitely. That was funny to watch. But basically, her art teacher comes in, and she sees that Maya really has a real talent, and of course this happens, and, you know, she really is excited to see Maya at this art show. Maya really doesn't seem like she wants to be there, and then Riley tells her, of course, that she invited her mom, and, you know, Maya doesn't know how to react right now, but it ends up actually going very well for her. It ended up going really well. A lot of people came to see her art, but the one person that did not come was her mom. Her mom did not come. Corey and Topanga were there, and I really liked that Riley kept comparing her mom to Corey and Topanga, because Corey and Topanga, you know, Corey is a teacher, Topanga's a lawyer, and Maya is stuck with a mom who sort of just doesn't, clearly we can see she does not, if you like, she's not happy with the life she has made for her daughter. She's not happy with it, and we see Riley go over to Maya's mother, basically trying to get her to come to the art show and say, hey, why aren't you at the art show? And, you know, Maya's mother says that she kind of just wants to stay away from Maya in these sort of things, because the reason she wants to do this is because of the fact that she does not want Maya to turn into her. Because, you know, there is a record, and this is true, I do agree with what she said here, that kids imitate their parents a lot. They turn out to be like their parents, and she does not want Maya to end up like that. You know, she does not want Maya to end up like someone who really is just unstable and really just is not happy with the life they had and dreams of a better life. So to them, they always pretend that they have this other life. You know, she pretends that she's not a waitress. She pretends that she is just, you know, going to an audition. She pretends that she's on her way to an audition, you know, things like that. And, yeah, so she was on her way to an audition, but, yeah, I really like that about, I really like that about this scene. I thought it was definitely very, very well done. Definitely really, really enjoyed that. And honestly, I understand why she did that. She really just doesn't want Maya to go down that same path, so she tries to stay away from Maya as possible. I am wondering if eventually she is going to, reconnect with Maya. I feel like this is going to be sort of like a recurring storyline, because if you think about it, Sean and his father in Boy Meets World never really reconnected. They didn't. You know, Sean's father would always go out and then come back randomly, and then the last time he came back, of course, he died. So, is Maya's mother gonna die? That's what I'm wondering. Is Maya's mother going to die? I'm not sure, because, you know, Sean's father died, so I don't know if Maya's mother would die, but if they really want to make this like Boy Meets World, they kind of have to do that, but I really don't know. We'll have to see what happens there. I just thought that scene was just really well done, and in the end, Maya basically realized that her family, she is actually closer with Corey and Topanga, and she's happy that she doesn't have the best relationship with her mom. She's happy about the art show, and I like the way it ended. I like that this story didn't necessarily end happily. I like that. I like that it did not necessarily end happily. I like that it ended with Maya just being happy with the life she has, even though it's a really sad life and a really dark life. I do hope at some point she does try to turn it around, you know, get her mother to see the light, but her mother is just so upset with what she's done that she just can't accept reality. She can't. She doesn't want to accept reality, and that's just what's going on there. And I really like that scene, you know, where Riley gave her the tuna melt, and basically, you know, Maya said, this is what my mother likes to make for this, and, you know, this is my favorite food to eat from my mom. And I just thought that was a very sweet scene. Now, the subplot in this episode was absolutely hilarious. I love the subplot between Farkle and Corey, and, you know, Farkle, Minkus returned. which, of course, Minkus, for me, I have a love-hate relationship with Minkus. Sometimes I really hated him on Boy Meets World Season 1. I thought he was like a know-it-all. Sometimes annoyed me. But a lot of times I really thought he was hilarious on the show. Really, really funny. And his return was absolutely hilarious. I love that Corey and Topanga were trying to compare Farkle to Riley. That was so funny to watch. I mean, really, really funny. I mean, you can definitely see that Corey and Topanga, believe it or not, have done a better job at life than Minkus. You know, Minkus always said to Corey, you're never going to have a good job, I'm going to marry Topanga, and of course, Corey, I love that Corey rubbed that in Minkus' face. I love that. I love that Corey rubbed the fact that Topanga is his wife in Minkus' face. I thought that was definitely very funny, and I really like seeing the comparisons, you know, the way that Minkus was comparing, you know, was trying to do, you know, was showing how good Farkle is, and Topanga was showing all the, you know, good things about Riley. I thought that was definitely very funny, and I just thought that was just probably one of the funniest scenes in the episode, in my opinion. Probably the funniest scene in the episode was the scene with Minkus. It was just very funny to see. As far as it being only 2 scenes, that was my only complaint with this episode, was I would have wanted to see a little bit more of that plot, but I understand the majority of the plot had to do with Maya's mother, and that's really what they were trying to show, was what was going on with Maya's mother. Now, as far as this episode goes, this episode was fantastic, in my opinion. I love this episode, thought it was by far best episode of the season, and I know I keep saying that. And again, of course, they had to delay it because of fucking How to Build a Better Boy, which I checked that out on Disney's channel. It was a piece of shit. Just don't even get me started on How to Build a Better Boy. It was a piece of shit, and I don't want to talk about it, and that's why Girl Meets World was delayed. How do I feel about Girl Meets World being delayed? Honestly, whatever. But I really love this episode, though. It was definitely very well done. And honestly, again, I really like the dark territory that they went into with this episode. This is not really something that I thought Disney would approach. I didn't really think Disney would really focus on a parent being, you know, not happy with the life they had and not really happy with the life they have for their daughter. I really like that, definitely. I thought that was definitely a very good storyline, and I really like that Disney decided to do that. It really shows that Disney, when they do, you know, when they can be mature, they can be mature. They can definitely be mature. How to Build a Better Boy, not mature at all. That is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my life. Stupid, one of, like, probably the stupidest Disney Channel movie I've ever seen in my life. Don't even get me started with that shit. But Girl Meets World was absolutely fantastic tonight. Loved it, and just really great episode. That's basically for my review. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. I'm sure a lot of you really loved it. I personally just thought it was a great episode. I will compare this episode to Girl Meets Father because it was probably even more emotional. It was darker than Girl Meets Father, definitely. Definitely darker than Girl Meets Father, especially the storyline with Maya. Definitely darker, and I really like that. What did you guys think of Minkus' return? Did you think that they didn't show enough of him? I feel like in the future we are going to see more of Minkus. I mean, that was great. I love the quick scene with Lucas also where he's saying, so your name is Farkle Minkus. I mean, that was hilarious. I thought that was really funny. Also, Augie stole the show again in this episode. That last scene at the end where he's singing opera. Again, that kid steals the show every single episode. That kid just steals the show. He has a real talent, and I definitely feel like that kid's going to go far. He's absolutely hilarious and just one of the best parts to watch on the show. One of the best actors on the show by far. And he's like a 6-year-old, so he's fantastic. But that's basically it for my review. Hope you guys enjoyed it. See you guys in my next video, which will be my review for the new episode of The Nick, which I'm actually going to watch right now. So see you guys for that. Okay, bye.